Every day means every day. My name is Brandon Burns, and today I want to talk to you about the most valuable resource that we all share, and that's time. And although it's the most valuable resource that we all share, I believe that oftentimes it is the resource that we misuse and abuse the most. I remember when I first got to the University of Michigan, myself and Stacy Irvin, who's a legend as far as Michigan men's gymnastics goes, we overlapped by one semester. So my very first semester was his last and final semester. And he was transitioning out of the sport. He was no longer competing at that time, but he was working for the team in some capacity. I don't remember if he was a volunteer coach or if he was a program manager, program assistant. I don't remember exactly what he did, but I remember that he was there. And one day during lineup, it was one of the first days of practice, and we had a huge freshman class, 24-man team, I believe 13, 14 people, maybe 15 were freshmen. We were all very new to this. And he stood there during our opening lineup, which is our small conversation between the staff and the athletes before practice gets started. And he said, take advantage of every single moment because this will be over before you know it. And I didn't believe him. As arrogant and ignorant as that may seem, I did not believe him. Why? Well, because even as an 18-year-old kid, I'd kind of been on my own for a little bit in the sense that I'd always managed my own schedule. I was homeschooled, but I was given very loose boundaries and loose guidance. I was told, here's what you need to be able to graduate. Now go on and do it. If you need help, I'm here for you, but go figure it out. Manage your own schedule, accomplish your own goals, create your own KPIs, figure this out because this is what you're going to need in the rest of your life. And that was incredibly helpful for me. And, I had been paying for my own meet fees, my own uniforms, because we didn't have the money to afford that as a family necessarily. And so I started coaching at a very young age when I was probably 14 years old so that I could be able to afford my meet fees, my uniform fees, so on and so forth. So in my mind, I had been very independent and very responsible from a very young age. I'd also seen a lot of life. I didn't grow up in necessarily the greatest side of town. I had seen disease and illness for people in my family. I had seen addiction in my family. I'd seen a lot of different things. And this is not by any means saying that I had a bad childhood. I had the best parents ever and an incredible childhood and this, that, and the third. But I'm just saying at a young age, I saw a lot and I had experienced a lot. And so in my mind, I thought, okay, I know you're 5 or 6 years older than me, Stacy, but you don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know what I've seen. You don't know what I've been through. I understand why you got to say this for everybody else, but me, I'll capture the moment. I'll take advantage of the opportunity because I know some stuff these other kids don't. And I think to a certain extent, that was probably true. I think I probably did capture the moment better than many other guys on that team. However, I distinctly remember 5 years later, 6 years later, standing on the other side of that lineup where Stacy once stood and giving the exact same speech and thinking to myself, if only I knew the gravity of the words that I'm saying now back then. I understood it intellectually, I understood it conceptually, but I did not understand deeply to a level of soul understanding. I didn't fully get it. And maybe you can't fully get it until you've been there, done that, and you've seen the other side of time. I don't know if that's possible or not to see it from the front end, but regardless, the reason I'm making this video is to encourage you to do it today. Call your parents today, call your kids today, call that person that you care about today, take the risk today, start the business today, film the video today, release the content today, go to the gym today, tell the person how you really feel today, do it all today. Because what I've realized is that, and my grandmother told me this, sometimes you don't understand the value of the time that you have until the time you have is almost up. She told that to me after she broke her hip and she was in recovery. And this was only maybe 6 months ago. And as fate would have it, she's now, I would say, fighting for her life. She's got a 90% blockage in one of her arteries, and then they've got to do a surgery to remove some cancer after that. So she's going to go through a lot over these next few months. And I think she knew 6 months ago when we had that original conversation. And that's why her mind was on the concept of time. She said, you don't always know the value of the time you have until the time you have is almost up. If you had a warning, if you had a heads up, if somebody gave you a divine tap on the shoulder and said, 1 week, 1 week, that's all you have, how would you feel? Obviously, I would imagine most of us would not be excited and over the moon to hear news like that, but I think beyond that, there's a great variation in how people would feel receiving news like that. Some people would be able to look back over their lives and say, I'm proud of the person that I was. I'm proud of the relationships I got to enjoy and experience. I'm proud of the memories that I made. I'm proud of the life that I lived, the person that I became. And this is irregardless of achievements and accomplishments, by the way. I'm talking about the essence of who you are. I'm talking about the real value of life, which is the interconnected relationships that we all share with one another. That's where the value really comes from. It's the people you love and the people that love you. Can you look back and genuinely say that you did right by those people? Can you look back and genuinely say that you did everything that you could to soak up every moment with those people, every memory with those people, that you enjoyed your life, that you lived it to its fullest? Can you say that you squeezed everything that you could have out of life? Or if you got that news, would you immediately be depressed? Not for the coming fate, but for the fate that's already been sealed, for the memories that already faded, for the grudges that you still hold to this day, for the opportunities that were missed, not due to failure, but missed due to a lack of trying. Would your heart sink because of words not said that you wish you could take back, but because of the words that were left unsaid? Not for the things done that you wish you had not done or could fix or mend or remedy, but for the things left undone. See, the good book tells us these things you should have done, but these things you should not have left undone. It puts emphasis on that final part there. These things you should not have left undone. I want to ask you right now to make a list. Grab a pen, grab a pad, begin to write things left undone. What can you do about those things? What can you do about those things today? What can you do about those things right now? What can you do about those things in the next 5 minutes? Things left undone. This is what causes pain in our lives, isn't it? It's not the regrets that we have from the actions we took. No, we can make peace with those. We can always find a way to make peace. I think that speaks to I think that speaks to something fundamentally real. When we do things that fail, or when we do things that we aren't proud of, when we make mistakes, no matter how bad they might be, there's always a way of making peace with those things. There's always a way of moving past them. That's what divine forgiveness is. But the things left undone seems to be a higher affront. What does that mean? It means that trying and failing is okay. It means that trying but missing the mark is okay. It means that never trying is not okay. It means that forgiveness can cover a multiplicity of sins, but it also means that a lack of being is unforgivable. A lack of desire to be, a lack of drive to be, a lack of an attempt to be, a lack of an attempt to exploit the being, the essence, the power that God put inside of you. That, I don't know if that's okay. I don't know if that's okay. It certainly seems to me that our soul has a built-in barometer that treats that as a far more grave offense than anything you may have gotten wrong in the past. And so use this video as encouragement to take action. Use this video as encouragement to stop putting that thing off, whatever it is for you. If you were told you had 7 days, would you look back with tears of joy or with tears of regret? If there's tears of regret in that for you, make a list, and begin working on it today. Hope you found this valuable. Send this to somebody, share it with somebody who needs it. Until next time, don't forget, every day means every day.